Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich playing as the Kingdom of Two Sicilies. Not a lot has happened lately. We're going to start exploiting the Pope though, which should be fun. Question is, do I want to just switch out his line artillery for some proper infantry? I don't know why he did it this way, but it is a 20 combat width division as it stands, and I guess I do have the artillery to supply it, so it's not really a big deal if we leave it as is. Might be better to go ahead and use some army experience to improve the infantry-heavy divisions that I currently possess. Namely, by adding in the recon companies, which requires some support equipment, which we do have, plus the... Oh, I can't do the engineer companies yet. Darn! Well, maybe we'll start with the engineer companies instead. That's a little bit more important, I would say. That requires a lot of support equipment, which I currently do not have enough. So maybe we do just work on the support equipment for now. Or, sorry, the recon company for now. Engineers are more important, though. It's going to take a while to get enough production, but let's go ahead and do this. Engineers are just that much more important. And to that extent, we should be preparing to put a couple more factories into this, because we have a lot more reinforcement to work on, which we should be able to handle, but still. We are sending a small lend-lease to the Papal State with the intention of gradually undermining their autonomy, so that someday, not anytime soon, but someday, we might be able to annex them. We can always increase that another time later, but 20 guns a month is just not much, so I'm not really feeling worried about it. Our war support, interestingly enough, is going up a fair bit, thanks to all the world tension we're getting right now, which is interesting. Construction subsidies will be done soon. That will give me some more factories that I can use to continue building things even faster. Which will lead to more military factories and so on. Actually, how is our infrastructure has given us a... Well, we could actually build some factories in the Papal State, which is not a terrible idea. That would actually reduce their autonomy a lot, especially considering how small they are. In addition, whatever factories we build here are going to be factories that I will have someday myself, if I do manage to annex them. So it's really just a long-term investment on my part, too. I don't know. Construction subsidies are done. That leads to heavy industry incentives, which gives even more civilian factories. Which I guess we'll just go ahead and do, because why not? So we really do need to take a look at the diplomatic situation of the world right now. Looks to me like the syndicalists are just about done conquering all of America, which again, is not unusual. Pretty typical, honestly. So I'm a little concerned that means the syndicalists are going to be a lot stronger. It looks to me like the paternal autocrats in Spain decided to join the Entente, which was an interesting choice. And you still have, what is this? The Dominion of India as a part of the Entente as well. So the Reichspakt is still pretty strong, but not outrageously so. Kind of wonder how the Entente would deal with this. If the Reichspakt does decide to fight the Third International, I imagine the Entente will get in on this. It looks like Austria did form their faction too. So that's something to keep in mind. There's another one right there. If we join the Reichspakt, we might be able to finagle a war against the Austrian Empire and gradually take some of our own land down here in the Balkan region. Alternatively, if we joined the Danubian Confederation, we might be able to fight the Germans eventually. But I'm not sure what I would gain out of that. I have no idea. I really just don't know. I mean, these may be long-term plans that we never really see come to fruition. I'm not sure yet, but it's just something to consider. Is there nothing we can do that would give me extra stability? Hey, wait, here we go. Defensive alliance. Ooh, we can do things. So we really would be able to pick somebody. So one of the following must be true. Old Order restored or Avanti Italia. I don't know what this does. Hang on. Where would the old order be, out of curiosity? I'm looking to see if there's anything in here, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not sure how you get that. I'm a little concerned that by not forming the, or not following the national populist route, maybe we're making it impossible to form the Italian Empire. Maybe, maybe not. Again, I haven't played these guys before, so I'm not especially sure. Disperse industry is done. Excellent. More output for me. Do we want more resources, or would I rather focus on other things? Let's see. It's November of 1937. It's almost early enough that we could go for the computing machine. I do think I'm going to go for the radio. And maybe we do go for the computing machine. It is a little bit ahead of time, but it's going to be a while before we are able to finish another research slot, so I'd rather go ahead and get working on this early, even if it is ahead of time, for the 3% research bonus to everything else. Gonna take a while. I still think it might be worth it. The Ottoman Empire isn't dead yet. Sooner or later, they tend to go to blows with Egypt. Egypt sometimes will form their own faction, too. They actually did. The Cairo Pact with Saudi Arabia. So they may end up going against the Ottomans at some point. We'll see. Could happen. Could very well happen. Some wars in China that I don't care about because China is relatively inconsequential in this mod pack, although I do think that they changed up how, the German stuff works. Did they? They might have. I thought that I saw some changes as far as, like, how Germany has their, subject nation in China, but maybe it's a relatively inconsequential one. Soviet Russia is still holding out against the Russian Federation, which shocks me. We'll see if the Russian Republic. We'll see if the Russian Republic ends up taking these guys down. The Russian Republic, by the way. Oh, my God. What happened to my throat? The Russian Republic is actually a pretty good nation to pick in Kaiserreich, mainly because their national focus tree is so broad, you really can go down any route you want. You can stay as a democratic republic. You can go to reform the Russian Empire and install a Tsar. You could go down the Soviet Union path. You can pretty much do whatever the heck you want, and you're large and strong enough that you really can bully a lot of people and go toe-to-toe with Germany at some point, if you play your cards right, which would be kind of fun. All right, so we finished that. Let's go for the industrial development effort, which is going to give me more factories, and it's going to give me a lot of different production benefits, which I love, plus some construction speed, plus 15%, which is amazing. We can modify the government. What should we go for? We could go for the industrial research time and also build our factories faster, which I think is pretty good. Weapons manufacturer is okay. Could go for a head of military intelligence, which I haven't really bothered with yet. This gives me a, wow, 2.5% research reduction. That's pretty substantial, actually. Yeah, that'll add up. All right, we're going to go for it. I'm going to go for the research time reduction. So that comes to a total of 12% in reduction, which is not bad for this early in the game. And with only 3 research slots, like, yeah, we'd like to have a lot more, but this actually is going to go a long way, I think, to helping us stay competitive for a while. So we can do the Constitutional Kingdom. And there's a lot of good stuff we can do with that. Resource gain efficiency and consumer goods. Space stability, that's something I wanted. More base stability with civil liberties, all of that's quite nice. Urbanization, more building slots, or Mediterranean breadbasket. Ooh, that's pretty good, though. More consumer good reduction. Public works, Christian democracy, more stability, encourage free thought, research slot, more stability, get rid of the national populists and the socialists, stable democracy even more. This is really good. I was just saying I want more stability. This is really good in a lot of ways. There's so much to do with the Kingdom of Two Sicilies. That's one of the reasons I like their national focus tree. There's a lot of really solid industrial options down here. We might want to go for thriving economy and then worry about this stuff. Alternatively, well, improving my stability actually would fix some of the problems I'm having with my economy as well. All of it's good, though. You want to do so much at the same time. That's the sign of a pretty well-balanced tree, in my view. Right? As opposed to the ones where it's like, there's really only one option. You kind of have to do all of this. And it's boring. Nobody likes that. Let's go ahead and add in the recon companies next. Boom. So that's going to cost me a lot more support equipment. I am very much in a deficit there, but we will be adding on a couple more factories. Serbia is attacking more people, trying to force them into their pact, which is a little irritating. Still don't have enough world tension to try and, like, snag Albania. Again, not that I think it would really matter, but I'd like to get them and their lands. Do they even have much? They got, like, a couple factories. It's not a big deal. Wow. You are very high in popularity. Look at that. 86%. Jeez. It really is a one-party state in Albania. Fascinating. Huh. All right, anyway. More troops from the Pope are ready to go. Let's add them. to the pile. And right now we need... It doesn't say that we need more troops, does it? In training, 16,000. I have no idea what you're talking about. We should be fine. We only should have spent like 800 on this stuff. I thought. They've lost a single point. Can you modify the Lend-Lease and start giving you some more guns? Let's go ahead and make it 100. There you go. More guns! More guns for you! Cannot deploy. Why not? Why not? Oh, insufficient manpower, of course. We don't actually have enough sailors to send out some more destroyers. Yeah, that's always fun. At some point, I do want to consider researching some planes, because it would be quite good to try going for some level of air superiority. Very good, in fact, if we could. Industrial development effort is done. More factories for me! All right. Do we go for the thriving economy first? Gosh dang, there's so much to do. Defensive alliance would be great. Am I really feeling under threat right now, though? I don't think so. I would like to get the political power and stuff so we can start getting some more ministers and such. We're going to go for the Constitutional Kingdom. We're going to try to increase our popularity. We're going to get some more political power. We're going to get some more stability. All of that will end up being pretty good. And if we can fix the low stability, that would also give me some more factory output. And also division organization and reduce my consumer goods. Which is the exact same thing that I was going to do with a thriving economy. So this still will work if we can get enough stability. Which may take a bit of time, but we'll see. Syndicalism prevails in Ukraine. A red hetman? They're paternal autocrats. I don't see any evidence that syndicalism is really that strong here. Huh. So they're still Reichspakt. I thought you guys were trying to reform Middle Europa. A Christian trade union. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's all well and good. We may want to spend some political power trying to improve relations with these guys at some point. Romania just capitulated to Hungary. I told you they weren't going to appreciate that. Turns out I was right. Okay, still no manpower to speak of at the moment. None whatso-freaking-ever. Uh-huh. War economy. If we're at war, we could do something, but not for a while, so there's nothing we can do here. Could change my conscription laws to get some more population. How are we feeling about our export focus? Pretty good. Free trade might be better at this point since we're really not importing anything. So overall, this would give me a lot more benefits, but I'm not sure it's worth the political power at the moment. I might prefer to go for things like industrial companies. Radio's done. Good. Radar's nice and all, but I'm not worried about it. Let's go for... improve fighters, ships, doctrines already being done. We haven't done any artillery upgrades. We haven't done any tanks. We are kind of getting to a point where I might be able to start getting some production for tanks. Let's go ahead and research it. I am hoping soon-ish we will be able to start diverting some factories in that direction. Maybe some of the infantry equipment. Since right now we have plenty of it. I mean, you want to have a lot of infantry equipment. It's not a bad thing to have a huge stockpile of it, but eventually, yeah. What the heck is happening down here, by the way? Kingdom of Serbia is losing to Hungary, Austria. I'm guessing you increased your... Yes, it looks to me like they've greatly increased the reach of their federation. Okay, good. Well, that's all been annexed by the Austrian Empire. Kingdom of Romania and Greece and Serbia. They've all been released, and they are all members of this faction. Okay. Okay. So really it is a big question of do we go for them or do we go for Germany? I still think we might go for Germany. Constitutional Kingdom. I'm going to go for civil liberties, which will give me the stability, also some popularity, which would be nice. We have a fair bit of political power. Let's invest now in the industrial company. So I can build things faster, and I think after that we change our conscription law and start pumping out some more troops. Since we do, in fact, have the equipment for most of it. The exception, of course, being the support equipment, which I am probably going to divert one more factory to right now. 2.5 per day is an improvement. The efficiency is going to need to go up a fair bit, but oh well. We do have a good number of motorized from a single factory, which means, actually, I probably can go ahead and add in the field hospitals. What does that require? A lot more support equipment. Never mind. Support equipment is one of the most underestimated pieces of equipment that you're going to need, really. I think people forget. You do need a lot of it in the early game. I mean, it does stockpile pretty out of control if you leave it with, like, 5 factories for, like, 3 years. You get tons of it, but when you're first building an army, it goes a long way. You need a lot. Sultanate of Egypt has just declared war on the Ottoman Empire, so this is now going to be a thing. Which one shall emerge victorious? Yemen has also declared war on the Ottomans. I think the Ottoman Empire is going to die unless Germany decides to defend them, which sometimes they do. Iran declared war on the Ottoman Empire. Saudi Arabia is going to be in on this as well, though it looks like they're losing up front. Mashriq declared war on the Ottoman Empire. Who the heck are these guys? Oh, tiny nations broke free, it looks like. Fascinating. Do we continue with this? Yes, and I think we go for the integrated support, since this is going to affect all companies, not just infantry, and since line artillery have been nerfed. Makes the most sense to me. Soviet Russia is still holding out, amazingly. Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth is holding together. Belorussia. When is this going to come to blows, I wonder? I do not know. I really don't know. All right. So, yeah, when we finish with this, we should get... no, this doesn't give me political power. That was the other one. Never mind. We're not worried about that right now. Profits from shipyards is kind of nice. I like that a lot. What the heck is happening with my manpower? Why am I getting nothing? I should be getting a small amount per month. I know it's not much, but I'm not sure what they are saying is in training. Nothing should be in training. I'm not training anybody right now. So unless for some reason we are having to shift our troops back to being, or Rome is taking their manpower back, then I don't know. Pacific states have capitulated, which means the combined syndicates of America have successfully ended the Civil War and taken over the entirety of the United States. So now they're a bunch of filthy syndicalists. Huzzah! I could add the field hospital to you guys. It would cost me a little bit, but not a ton. Still don't know if it's worth it right now, though. Ideally, I'd love to get out of Italy, which is very mountainous. And once we're pretty much done with the socialists, get a ton of motorized and just start beating the crap out of France. Find the wide open fields and then just blitz across a lot of Europe. That'd be fun. May or may not be an option, though. We are, of course, playing as a minor nation, and when you are playing as a minor nation, there's only so much you can do at any given time. Let's go for... Ooh, I like a research slot really bad, but... blah, 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 blah. Is it more important to go for this? Research slots are really important, man. More important to go for the research slot. I hate to do it. I wasn't planning on it, but now that I think about it, yeah. Really important to be able to keep on time with tech. Preferably ahead of your opponents. Get everything you want, have all the options. I mean, granted, there's not a lot of point in being really good at research if you don't have a strong economy to back it up, right? You can have the research to build the best planes and the best ships and tanks and artillery and everything else, but if you can't produce any of it, what does it matter, right? So it is important to balance that out a little bit. But still, we are getting close to having the 100 political power I wanted anyway. We'll change our conscription law regardless. It'll be fine. I'll just have to hold off on the stability and stuff a little bit longer. There's the computing machine, which will speed things up even further. We could go for the encryption and decryption tech. Not sure that's a high priority at the moment. July 1938. I think we need to go for the improved weapons and stuff. Alternatively, no, this is still ahead of time. We could go for motorized rocket artillery. And one of the reasons this is actually tempting to me is because we're not relying on line artillery and we're relying on support companies to get our soft attack in our divisions. Having the option of artillery and rocket artillery could go a long way. We may end up wanting to produce a small amount, and it won't take a lot of production because they're just supporter companies. So we may consider that. For now... Yeah, I think we go ahead and start doing things like the soft attack and everything else. Let's just go ahead and get prepared. I'm not sure if we're going to get called into a war anytime soon. We may or may not. Right now, the syndicalists are still fairly weak compared to us. It's just France that scares me. And until Germany does anything with France, there's really not much I can do. Really not much. Let's go ahead and change up our conscription law to limited conscription. That should give me a lot more population that will be recruitable. This will readjust itself eventually. It's not done yet. It still thinks 1.5%. Yeah, it'll update eventually. Eventually we'll get some more manpower that we can use. And then I will consider training up some more troops. There's 14,000. It's not a lot, is it? And it's all going away to training. What the crud? Is it because of the ship? Shouldn't have been. Not that much. Holy crap. What happened? Maybe I lost a few troops? These guys are all green. Oh! I know why. No, never mind. It's because we changed... No, wait. We didn't change this up. We didn't add it. We didn't make this a 20 combat width. I thought we did. Huh. Let's go ahead and do some exercises. We're going to get these guys to stop being so green. Shouldn't take very long. It'll get me a little bit of army experience in the meantime, which is okay. Kind of nice, actually. There you go. And we'll stop with that. Perfect. All right. Now get your organization back. Boom. Everyone shall be stronger. So yeah, I'm getting a fair bit of the army experience now. I just don't really have anything I can spend it on. Brazil has a civil war going on. Commune versus... Are these democratic? Paternal autocrats. So they're kind of a dictatorship still, but the radical socialists are going to be a thing. There's the extra research slot. Now let's go for the good business relations. Political power plus some stability. And for research, let's go ahead and work on the support weapons. That'll keep us up to date on a lot of our stuff. Once we get to 1939, there is a lot to research, so I will be happy to have that. There's a lot more manpower. Thank you. Was a little concerned about that. We actually do want to make these guys a 20 combat width, though. Like, that's not a joke. We do want that. You know what would be actually really good, possibly, would be getting some mountaineers mixed in. It's not the same as having, like, a purely mountaineer division, but if we did that, that would cost me a lot more infantry equipment, which we have. It'd take a bit more manpower, but we can do that. And the good news is, some mountaineers would give us slightly better stuff in terms of fighting in the mountains, which we kind of need. Right now, there's like no attack and defense bonus. If you add a single mountaineer in there, it's not much. 3.5, 1% and stuff. But it's not inconsequential. It might be better to do this than to add in an infantry. I'm willing to try it, at least. Let's try it. Let's try it. Let's see if it's any good. It's going to use up all my extra manpower right now, but that's fine. So technically, they're using up some of my Special Forces divisions. So I can only train up so many of those troops because we have a limit to how many Special Forces we can have. But there's a lot of mountains down in this area that we'll have to fight and defend. So that slight extra bonus, you never know. You never know. It might make the difference. All right, I like the idea of going for this good business relations. Once that's done, what else do we want? Catholic social teaching is good. Would I want this or would I want this? Popularity, I would have said is not important to me, but that extra little bit will kick me over the 50% that I need to get more political power. So when you look at it that way, every owned state gets a building slot. This might be better. Political power plus more building slots. Maybe. Maybe. Haven't really decided on that point. There's so much I want to do in terms of my national focuses, but there's so little time. I can't do it all, man. Can't do it. All right, so can we train a couple more of these? I can only have a total of 5 more, because that is the max I can do in terms of my mountaineers. So at some point, we may want to copy this template and change it out to have infantry so we can continue building more. But for now, this is something we can do. Heavy tanks are now done. We still need more support equipment, but we're getting there. We are getting there. I don't care about the light tanks right now. 1938, decryption and stuff, maybe. We may want to go for a fighter, just to have the option. Alternatively, we go for anti-air instead, so we can just shoot down their planes. This would be good. Do we need any more support companies right now? I kind of like a lot of these, but I'm not sure we have the time. Don't think we need to go for paratroopers, though they are pretty strong. We do want to get things like encryption and decryption at some point. Radar would be good to get. We have a lot of factories we're still building. More resources could be good in terms of exports. I do think we want to have the option of having a fighter. I'm going to go ahead and research it. Since we have the 4th slot, we will eventually want to start producing some. I am going to start trying to produce some heavy tanks. And that's going to cost me some resources that I don't have. I'm not going to trade for them right now because I don't have a lot of civilians factories to spare, which basically means that our efficiency increase is going to be very minor. But gradually, we'll start getting some heavy tanks. And what I may end up doing is trying to work that into some of our infantry battalions to give them some armor value and give them that slight edge when fighting the socialist infantry. All right, so we want to go for this now? We might. Is there anything else that gives me stability? Yes, Christian democracy. That would get me to the 50% that I need. That requires doing this first, though. Oh, Lord. Thriving economy may be faster at this point. We also need this. All of these. We need all of these. Recruitable population would be nice, too. We also need all of this so that I will be able to get the war goal against them as soon as the Germans make their move. We may need to do this just so I'm able to fight. It'd be a bit of a long haul to get there, though, and in the meantime, my economy really could use a boost. More building slots is not super important right now. More political power, not super important right now. So the question is, do we go for the stability, which is going to be 2, or do we go for the thriving economy, which gives me some of the same stuff? Let's go ahead and knock out the thriving economy. Increase in stability. Well, there we go. It happened anyway. Okay, we got above 47%. So now we have the average regardless, so I guess I made the right choice. Boom. That will help. Now we have 13 civilian factories able to start building those military factories, which means we're going to start getting a lot more, which is great. So we'll try building out a couple of heavy tanks, lots of infantry equipment, and that frees up enough civilian factories we could start doing some trade if we so desire. 5 factories and infantry equipment is probably still fine. Royal marriage. I guess this has to do with the prince that we chose. Prince Eugenio, a relative of Amadeo of the First of Sardinia, has married Princess Lucia Maria Raniera, the 4th daughter of King Ferdinand in the Two Sicilies. Oh. Okay, well, who doesn't like a royal wedding? Just ask all the Americans that are freaking fawning over the royal weddings that have happened in Britain. I don't understand it, by the way. I really do not understand why Americans care so much. It's like it shouldn't matter, right? We don't have a monarchy in the United States. We fought a war to not have a monarchy in the United States. Why are you guys freaking out over a freaking monarchy? You're romanticizing the crud out of it. I blame Disney movies. Anyway. Better soft attack and breakthrough for infantry equipment is amazing. Soft attack and defense is pretty good too. Or just straight soft attack, which is also pretty solid because soft attack means it will be better in offense and defense. Breakthrough overall, I think, is going to be more important in the long run, though. And the only reason I'm coming to that conclusion is because I know that the later the game gets, the easier it is for troops to turtle down. And shy of adding in tanks, breakthrough becomes harder and harder to come by to overcome that defense. So this might actually buy us a bit more time before we start having to produce tanks, just to actually have a chance to push the front line. That is the theory, anyway. Plenty of motorized coming in right now, which is great. We are producing these every, 3 months, 2-3 months. That's good. Definitely an improvement as far as where we were. So we're going to finish the thriving economy. Then we're going to go for the Catholic social teaching, then Christian No, wait, we don't even need this now. We're already at this. So we can actually just skip that entirely. For now, anyway. We'll want it eventually. Urbanization, then, to increase our popularity? Or do we go for the defensive alliance so that I will be able to try and be friends with somebody? Not that I'm feeling especially worried about the socialists. I don't think they're going to attack me. But we might want to go ahead and join that faction and commit ourselves in some way. Again, though, it's the question of, if I joined Austria-Hungary, I could declare war on these guys and drag them in. So with Germany, plus these guys, and then probably the Entente as well, the syndicalists are going to be crushed. But if I do that, I won't be able to take all their land, because this is what I want. I want to take everything here. So I'm not sure if that's actually going to be better or not. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's go for the, radio, actually. We are going to want that. And I'm going to end this video here. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If so, then be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Hit that notify bell if you want to see my future content. And I will see you guys next time.